Hello everybody and welcome to Iridium Rocker Metal Reviews. So I've got Darren and Mark with me again. How you doing, guys?
Hey guys.
All right. How's my boys? All right, lads.
They're good. So we finished the ballads. We've done that. We've put a cross through that, if you like. But Mark, I think it was Mark had this great idea. It might have been you, Darren. Was it? It was Mark. It was Mark that we should talk about our favourite, our best shows we've been to, our best concerts. So what a great idea. So we're gonna probably cram about 5 each in there. Who wants to go first today and have their little experience of their best concerts?
Go for it, Mark. Go for it, Mark. You go.
All right. Okay, if we're doing 5, are we starting at the top or working our way down?
The thing is, I haven't really got any particular order of the best of, apart from my last one. I wanted to leave my last one till last. That's the special one, if you like. So,
okay.
I'm the same. I'm the same as you, Lee. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to start off June 21st, 2002 in Charlotte, North Carolina. I saw Deep Purple, Dio, and the Scorpions.
Ooh.
This was my only time seeing all 3 of those bands. Always wanted to see Dio with Sabbath, but never got to see him with Sabbath. On this was the Killing the Dragon tour for Dio, and he had Doug Aldrich on guitar, and they were just amazing. They did some classic Rainbow, some classic Sabbath, of course the Dio solo stuff. And then, of course, the Scorpions, they were great as usual. Matthias Jabs just blew me away. He made some sounds come out of his guitar that I had never heard before and didn't know were possible. They were just amazing. And,
Mate, back in the day, I loved his guitar playing. What I loved about him is he used to do his soloing, didn't he? Between, not just leave it till the solo. He used to do loads of little brilliant fiddly bits on the guitar. What a guitarist. Excellent.
I just remember he did something on it. It sounded like a race car engine. I've never heard anything like it before. It was just, I'm like, how the hell is he doing that with a guitar? Anyway, they were incredible.
Man, that sounds like a great gig, man. That sounds like
Deep Purple. Yeah. I'm not the biggest Deep Purple fan in the world, but they put on a great show as well. This is the one big show I have ever lucked up and got front row tickets.
Oh, nice.
This was.
I was going to ask you where you were standing at the gig as you were talking.
On the front row. This is when you went to a place and actually purchased tickets in person. And one of our local grocery store chains had a Ticketmaster outlet. And I went up and told the lady what I wanted, and she said, "Well, where do you want to sit?" And I just, casually said, "I don't know, what you got?" And she said, "How would you like to sit on the front row?" And I thought she was joking, and sure enough, she printed out front row tickets. I was just absolutely amazed that I got that lucky, but yeah, that was a great show.
Good one, man. Brilliant. Okay, Darren.
Okay, first one for me, I'm going Aerosmith, the summer of 2017 in the biggest arena here in Dublin. It's called the Point Theatre. 15,000 people. And the great thing about this gig was they'd no album to promote. You know the way bands come to town, they got to promote their new album, so you're going to get 6 or 7 songs off the new record or whatever. No album to promote. They were just in Dublin for a good time. And I'm a big fan of the 1993 album, Get a Grip. And, you've got songs like Crying and Crazy on that. And they sang them, and me and my pals, there must have been about 7 or 8 of us at this gig. It was a big lads' night out. We had a few beers beforehand, went to the gig. And, all these kind of early 90s commercial hits where they were playing them, and just such good fun. But I was just looking back through the set list of the night that they played that day. They didn't scrimp on the set list for it at all. They gave us everything. They gave us Love in an Elevator, Dream On, Janie's Got a Gun, Sweet Emotion, Dude Looks Like a Lady, and even Yes, I Don't Want to Miss a Thing. Now, everyone could bitch about that song, but that whole arena was singing it.
Oh,
Steve Tyler at this gig, so it's 4 years ago, he was in his late 60s. He was 68 or 69 when this gig was on. Now, me and my pals were 35, let's say, 34, 35. He had more energy on stage than we've ever had in our lives, and he's 60. He was 68 years of age. Just unbelievable. And Joe Perry as well. It was just great gig. Brilliant.
Yeah. You think about all the drugs they did as well. You know what I mean? Right, okay.
Yeah.
So my first one is a band that I talk about a lot, and it's Blackberry Smoke. Let me just put a quick one out there, actually, because I haven't been to many gigs. When I was younger, I didn't go to many, money situation, obviously. Then most of my gigs come from recent experiences. So Blackberry Smoke. I've actually got a couple of T-shirts to show you guys, because this was at Rambling Man. So it was a festival, but I've seen Blackberry Smoke loads of times. But this was the time I saw them at Rambling Man. This is in a place called Moat Park in Maidstone. So this is the T-shirt from the day. I picked up another 2 T-shirts from the day as well. This one with the look Maidstone on it. There you go.
Nice.
And this one as well I picked up on the day with the controversial flag behind there, if you can see it.
Oh yeah.
And nice.
Nice.
So, it was a brilliant weekend, and Moat Park. The reason why I've chosen this is I've been to Download a few times over the last few years, but Moat Park in Maidstone is all about the music that we love. It's got, not so much for me, but blues. It's got a classic rock stage. It's got a country stage as well, a prog stage. But what it hasn't got is extreme metal bands, which all these festivals are full up with now. All this shouting and screaming and
Cookie Monster
stuff. It is all proper classic metal. So on that day, I saw Miles Kennedy with just a guitar, an acoustic guitar, so up close and personal. I saw who else was there? I saw Skinny Molly, which is another good band of mine. Steel Panther were there, man. But Blackberry Smoke were there on the Sunday, and I went. It was perfect. It was sunny all weekend. Maidstone is literally 15 minutes away from me. We drove there. I left the car in the car park. We went and saw Blackberry Smoke. It was brilliant. Got back in the car. Was home 15 minutes later. It was just like the best festival I've ever been to. So that's my first one. There you go. Blackberry Smoke.
Cool. Very good.
Okay.
All right. Up next, this is the first real concert I ever went to by choice. I got drugged to a lot of concerts as a child by my parents that I didn't really care to see. But on my birthday in 1983, April 30th, 1983, that would have been my 14th birthday, Journey came to town. Frontiers tour. Still got my tour book.
Oh, nice.
This was also probably my first official date. I took a fiery redhead named Ginger. Real original name.
Yes.
We went with my older sister and her boyfriend at the time, and that was a life-changing event. Just imagine Journey in their prime, Frontiers tour. Brian Adams opened the show. He was just starting to make a name for himself. Our local our state university, the University of South Carolina, is here in town, and I vividly remember Steve Perry came out that night. He's wearing a University of South Carolina Gamecocks shirt, and the crowd just went crazy. But yeah, it was,
should we give up now? Should we give up now, Darren?
I was a bit afraid coming onto this video because I knew Mark was going to pull up a whole lot of stuff that I'm going to be jealous of for the rest of my life. And that gig, you know, you got Brian Adams and you got Steve Perry in his prime. Oh man, I don't even know what to say. I watched the grainy old videos of it, when people have uploaded them on YouTube from a VHS. And just look at it go. If I had a time machine, what's the first thing I'd do? I'd go back and watch one of them gigs. Just so jealous, man. That's incredible.
Brilliant. Well done, mate. Brilliant gig. Excellent. Okay. Darren.
Incredible. Unbelievable.
Follow that one.
Okay. Next one, I'm going to be honest. I think me and you, Lee, we should just stop the video now and just listen to every gig Mark's been to because we're not going to beat it, you know. But I'm going to go for these guys, Metallica, Slane Castle, County Meath here in Ireland, 2019, 80,000 people. And I'll start off by saying the first song not the first song they played, but a song they played on the night, the cover of Whiskey in the Jar. And oh my God, you've got 80,000 Irish people in a field in Ireland with Metallica on stage singing Whiskey in the Jar. And it was epic. It was so good. Yeah. But, something I wanted to say about this gig was it wasn't just the gig itself. It wasn't just the music. It was the whole day that went with it. It was the double-decker buses coming here from the East Coast down to Meath to go and get it. It was a sunny morning. Everyone's sitting at the top of the bus, drinking, singing Metallica songs as we were going down the bus. But then the weather turned somewhere throughout the gig, and it just started lashing rain, which just added to the excitement, because now you've got like everyone going nuts at the gig, jumping into each other, and just beer going everywhere all over, and someone throwing beer in your face, or someone just rugby tackled me to the ground for no reason. Yeah, it's just such a great gig. But I will say, the bus going back was a lot quieter.
Yeah, always is, mate. No, brilliant one, mate. That's excellent. Well, my next one, like I said, when I was younger, I didn't see a lot of gigs because of money, really. One of the bands I really wanted to see was Queensryche, one of my favourite bands that I always mention on here. But what I did manage to do was see them in 2016, August the 28th, the day before my birthday, and had the best night ever, man. It was absolutely brilliant. So, and with Todd LaTorra, then the new singer. So, you know, everyone high expectations what the new singer's like live, because we knew he could perform on record. It was the Condition Human tour, which was the second record. So we all know what a great vocalist he was, but hearing Todd LaTorra sing live at the O2 Islington, which only holds 800 people. I mean, they're the ones you want to be at.
Oh, beautiful.
So, yeah, absolutely fantastic. They destroy any gig, don't they, that you're at. When you go and see a band like Queensryche, and you know what, they probably couldn't do a lot more than that now because it's not the 80s anymore. But when you see them in a little hall of 800 people, man, and you can get as close as you want, it's just like blows your mind. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, that's my.
There's something epic. There's something epic about them Slane Castle Metallica gigs where you have 80,000 people. There is something epic about that, and I'll get it onto one of my choices as well. But when it's you're right, when it's a small gig with 800, that's a powerful experience.
Yeah, totally agree. That's my second choice, guys. Right, okay. Back to Mark.
Brilliant.
Yeah, before I get on to my next one, I just want to mention I saw Queensryche in 2016 in a club here in town, and it probably only held 300 to 400 people, maybe.
Nice.
Very small venue. And I was one of the first in the door, and I was right by the stage. We didn't have seats; it was general admission and stuff. I didn't have front row, but I was right there at the stage. I could have reached out and touched him, but yeah, I agree. He's an amazing. He's kicked so much life into that band. It's hard to kind of imagine now that he hadn't been there all along. Great singer.
Just a quick shout out. His new album's out tomorrow. His solo album tomorrow. So everyone grab that. Todd LaTorra's solo album. So anyway, right. It's enough of that promotion.
Okay.
Cool. Okay.
my next one, I've mentioned this a couple of times in the past. August 17th, 1987 in Spartanburg, South Carolina, Striper.
Nice.
Three band bill on that one, Striper, Loudness, and TNT. I had seen Striper previously on that same tour here in town, and then several months later they came to the upstate with Loudness and TNT. I don't have any memorabilia from that show, but I do have one picture that I was able to find that I took that night. You can almost see the tail of the devil.
Nice.
Banner behind them.
Very good.
You know, back in the day, you took them with the little Polaroid cameras and whatnot.
Yeah.
But, amazing show. Only time I've ever got to sing Loudness, and I would love to see them again. They never came through here on a headlining tour after that. But yeah, three awesome bands and incredible night.
Brilliant one, mate. Absolutely.
How many times have you seen Striper?
7 so far.
Ooh.
Wow.
Most recently,
Wow.
most recently in 2019.
Cool.
Brilliant. Okay. Darren.
Okay, I've mentioned this gig to you guys a couple of times before in a couple of other videos, but now that we're talking gigs, I can talk a little bit more about it. And it's autumn of 2019, Europe at Dublin's Olympia Theatre. So the Olympia Theatre holds about 1,600 people, and you know what? This is just you know what the great thing about this is? We went to see this without any kind of expectations, really. We thought, look, it was a weeknight as well. There's something different about a midweek gig. So this was like a Wednesday night gig or whatever. Because you know you've worked tomorrow, but you're still going to get boozed up anyway. So you try to hold back, but you can't. But So we went to this, and it's just, I've said it to you guys in the ballads video when I picked their song New Love in Town that I heard for the first time at this gig. They are a criminally underrated band, and I felt guilty after the gig that I didn't expect. I wasn't expecting so much from them because Joey Tempest and the lads just gave it everything on the night. Now, I will say that theatre, the acoustics of it helped as well. It's really, really good for that sound. One other thing I would say is, with a small venue like this, there's nowhere to hide, lads. If you're up on stage in front of 100,000 people, you can hide the falls. If you're at a small gig, there's nowhere to hide. And they were flawless that night. So I implore everyone, listen to Europe's new stuff. They're great.
Yeah, underrated, mate. Underrated band. You're right there. Good band. Good band. Okay. Is it me now? It is, isn't it? So I want to, just in case we can't get all our 5 in, I definitely want to mention this one. So this was absolutely amazing. Not so long ago. October the 2nd, 2017. Alter Bridge at the Royal Albert Hall with a full orchestra. Man, it was just...
Oh, nice.
I've seen Alter Bridge probably the most out of any band. I've probably seen them about, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 times. But this was without doubt the most special show I've ever seen them in. So full orchestra, Royal Albert Hall, and the seating. I mean, I was right to the side, but basically just a few seats away from the band. And it seems that every time I go to see Alter Bridge live, it gets filmed as well, and they've got an amazing Blu-ray which I've obviously purchased from that night, and just an amazing performance. If any of you I don't know if any of you guys really like them, but if you want to watch one song, just watch Words Darker Than Their Wings at the Royal Albert Hall on YouTube. And it just makes the hair stand on the back of your neck. There was a standing ovation after that song, and they couldn't play for about 5 minutes because no one would let them play. It was just like mental, absolutely amazing. I will always remember that night. And me and the missus went, and it was just the most amazing gig ever. It was brilliant. But that's my next choice, guys.
Cool. Plus the Royal Albert Hall, Lee. That's brilliant.
I know.
With an orchestra.
Yeah, it was brilliant, mate. Absolutely brilliant. Okay. Next choice.
Okay. My top 2 were so close, I had a hard time ranking them. But August 8, 1999 in Greenville, South Carolina, Black Sabbath. Only time I ever got to see the lineup of Sabbath. I'd probably rather have seen with Dio or Tony Martin, but I was privileged to get to see the original lineup on that reunion tour. This was a page out of a local paper that I clipped out, had laminated, and still hangs on my wall to this day. Opening acts were Drain, the all-girl group I mentioned before, and Godsmack, another great triple bill. Ozzy was in pretty good form in those days. He hadn't totally lost his voice, and just being that close to Tony Iommi was a life-changing, almost religious experience. Another night I'll never forget. A buddy of mine up in Pittsburgh had seen him previously, and he had told me at the end of the show, he said, you might want to take a plastic bag. He said, you'll know what I mean when you get there. So I took me a plastic bag, and at the end of the show, the ceiling just fell out with all this Black Sabbath confetti. And I still had a bag. I had a bunch of it laminated just so it'll never go away. But this confetti's over 20 years old.
This is unbelievable.
Amazing.
Brilliant, mate. Absolutely brilliant.
This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. Carry on, Lee. Not only does Mark have is showing us up and has the sorry, I'm gonna have to say it, has the fucking ticket stubs, right? He has them. He's got them, right? Not only does he has the fucking confetti that fell from the ceiling. It's unbelievable.
I would have hated to have been the
Mark, I want to be your best mate forever. Unbelievable.
I would have hated to have been the custodians that had to clean that arena up the day after. I mean, it was, you could not see in front of you. I mean, it was just tons of it. But yeah, that may be the only confetti that still exists, but I've got it.
That's brilliant, mate.
This is incredible. I can't get over it. This is
okay. Darren.
I've no props. I've nothing. I only have the memories. I was going to say, how long have we got? Because I want to see which one I'm going to pick. Have we got time for 2 more each or 1 more?
I reckon we got half an hour, so we should be able to get 2 more in as long as we're quite quick with the next one, I reckon.
Okay, I'll go quick on this one. So, they're one of my favourite bands, got them behind me. I'm going Leicester, England, 2018, 1,000 people, a shed-like arena, FM, on their Atomic Generation tour. Grimy, underground kind of gig, just people just bumping off each other and kind of just a good vibe in the place. And you know what? When you're at an FM gig or any small band like that, you mentioned the smaller gigs already, Lee.
Yeah.
Anyone who's there wants to be there, so it's not like just all the people showing up because it's whoever rolled into town that weekend. People went to this gig because they wanted to be at this gig, and there's a good community environment because you got all the FM pals there, and everyone's there to see the band. So, and after that, and I will say is the thing about the band as well is, and I don't know if you guys have seen this with the gigs you've been at. After the gig, they come into the crowd. They have beers with you. They get pictures with you. They sign your merch. Overall, it's a great experience. So yeah, Leicester, England, 2018.
Great band, man. Well, good shout out to that band. They're superb. Right. Okay, so this will be my quick one, and then we can have the last one. We can have quite a while, hopefully. So my second to last pick, if you like, I'm going back to that same venue, the O2 Islington, with the 200 people. Another band I would have loved to have seen in the 80s, obviously, but I got to see them in 2009, and that's Tesla on the Forevermore tour. So another band that I couldn't believe were there in front of me. I know it's not the 80s anymore, but it didn't matter. It just didn't matter as long as I could see them, and they were fantastic, man. They put on a great show. Okay. We're up to our last one, guys. We're up to our last one. We haven't had our 10-minute little warning yet either. So, hopefully you better give a little bit of detail on this. So, here you go then, Mark.
Okay. All right. Like I said, my top 2 especially were so hard to rank because these are actually my top 3 of my all-time favorite bands. Stryper, Black Sabbath, and, of course, Kiss. This was on the reunion tour, September 25th, 1996, here in Columbia, South Carolina. I still got the ticket stub there. I never got to see the original lineup as a kid in makeup. I was a Kiss freak from the first time before I even heard their music. When I first saw a picture of them, I was a Kiss fan. I got to see them 3 times during the 80s and early 90s without makeup, and they were amazing, of course. But when the original lineup finally announced they were reuniting in 1995, 96, whatever it was, I just lost my mind. I never thought that would be possible to see them back in makeup on a tour on the same stage again, and it lived up to everything I had hoped for. It was just, again, a life-changing experience. Never forget that night.
What a great
one,
mate.
What year? I didn't quite catch it. What year was it, Mark?
1996.
1996. So, okay. So it wasn't Tommy wasn't with them at that point.
No,
so
this was the original Peter Criss, Ace Frehley, Gene Simmons, and Paul Stanley.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Well, great concerts there, Mark. Some great concerts all around you mentioned there. Absolutely brilliant. Right, we've just had the 10-minute warning come up, mate. So you've got a little while, and then I've got a little while. So.
Okay. I nearly just want to keep talking to Mark about that Kiss thing with the original lineup. That's brilliant.
We could do that. You could do that if you wanted.
I feel it almost feels like my choice now is going to be the Diet Coke version of Mark's choice, right?
I'm sure it'd be good.
I'm going Grass Pop. I'm going Grass Pop Metal Festival, Austria, the summer of 2019, 2 years ago. 100,000 people at this. And I'm cheating here a little bit because there's a number of bands that played because we went to the final night of this. So it was by the time we arrived on the Sunday, we arrived Sunday morning. There was a lot of metalheads who were already partied out at that point, and we were arriving fresh as daisies, But the Sunday night was the best evening of rock I've ever experienced in my life. Here's who you had back to back, right? And Rob Zombie was in here as well, somewhere in the middle of it. But here's who we had headline back to back: Whitesnake, followed by Def Leppard, followed by, to close off the evening, Kiss. Now, this was not like Whitesnake come on and play 3 songs, and then Def Leppard come on and play 3 songs. It was full sets, back to back, with maybe like 3/4 of an hour interval between each one. Oh my God, what an evening of rock entertainment! What that was, and to top it all off, FM played in the morning, which was just unbelievable. So we had all them bands in one day. A sunny, I've never experienced such a hot day in all my life. When we arrived in the morning, it was just, the sun was baking down. So myself and Darren, my pal, we watched FM play. Then we went into like a shelter where they were just selling cups of beer or whatever. We spent the afternoon in there before we emerged at about 6 o'clock to catch Whitesnake and the rest of the evening's entertainment. And but you know what? Actually, just on the Kiss piece. So Kiss headlined the show at the end. They're getting a lot of stick these days over backing tracks, and I'd love to hear your views on this, Mark. They're getting a lot of stick over backing tracks and singing to tracks and all sorts. But I will say this, Paul Stanley gave it his all that night. I mean, say what you want about the guy, they love their money, they love this, they love that. But my God, they put on a show. All the money went into it. You could see the pyrotechnics. Stanley flew out over the crowd on a zip line. They just gave it all. Last point I'll mention is this. The song Bet means a lot to me and my pals, and it was just me and one of my pals at this. We love the song Bet. We play it at the end of, whenever my mates are over, it's the last song we play. Every time for the last 10 years, when they're leaving, it's the last song we play. We shed a tear when Eric Singer sang it in front of, we were right near the top, 6 rows back of 100,000 people. And Eric Singer sang Bet, and we shared a tear and put our arms around each other. In the only way that lads can be emotional with each other, we did it, and it was epic.
Sounds like a great one, man. They get better festivals, abroad, man. In England, they're just full up with crap half the time, but sometimes you get some good ones, but most of the time they're shit. But that's a brilliant one, mate. Well, my last one is you said last week that you think I've got a bit of a singing voice. Well, I used to be in a band, Darren, back in the day. I was a singer in a band, in a metal band. And we used to play at a pub. We used to play at a pub called the Red Lion in Northfleet, which is in Kent. Holds 200 people. So it's a tiny little hall next to a pub. And the landlord, which is Terry Lee, he told us that Iron Maiden were going to play in 1985, in July of 1985, at the pub. And I said to him, "You're full of shit. You're full of shit. Iron Maiden are not going to play. They're coming down under a different name called the Sherman Tankers. They're going to be playing." I said, "No, they're not, but I bought a ticket anyway." So I walked into the Red Lion, where I play every week near enough, in my band on the stage. In walks in Iron Maiden after their world slavery tour, which lasted a couple of years. Their Live After Death album, where they played all the arenas all across the world, and they were the biggest band in metal then. And in walks in Adrian Smith, Nico McBrain, Dave Murray, and Steve Harris. No singer, because it was this Sherman Tankers weren't actually Iron Maiden. So Sherman Tankers consisted of Adrian Smith, Nico McBrain on the drums, and 2 other guys with Adrian Smith singing. And I stood there watching them with Steve Harris and Dave Murray, watching Sherman Tankers in my local pub. And then they got up for one song. They got on stage and they played Lost for Words, which is off the Power Slave album, which is also my favourite album. And they played it in front of me, and it was just, well, I'm not religious, but Mark said he had a religious experience, so this was got to be quite close. They were my biggest band all the way through the 80s, and to see them in your local pub. I actually read an article about it the other day because I wanted to get a little bit of detail about it, and I was reading, there was an interview with the landlord, and he was talking about that night. It was just amazing, absolutely amazing.
Did this actually happen, or is this in your head?
No, it happened in July 1985. They'd done a small, the Sherman Tankers, what they were calling themselves. They sometimes call themselves they call themselves something else. The entire population of Hackney they used to go under as well, and they used to do little pubs and stuff.
Okay.
But this night they came to the Red Lion in Northfleet, which was my local pub, and it was just like mental, absolutely mental. That's just even though musically that wasn't my best concert, because Sherman Tankers, I could have. It was just I can't even remember anything about the night because my eyes were just. I was a 15-year-old kid. I shouldn't have been in the pub, you know. So
Mark, here's my theory. Here's my theory, right? Lee and his band played a set that night. They had a rake of beers, right, as they were playing their set. In between every song, they were sculling beers. And then they fell off stage at the end of the night and they imagined all this, right? It never happened. It couldn't have. It's unbelievable.
You can read about it. If you go online and read about the Red Lion Northfleet, that was my local pub for about 15 years, probably. And yeah.
Okay, we've 2 minutes. We've 2 minutes left. We've 2 minutes left. I wanted to ask both of you a quick question we've 1 minute 46 seconds. Number one, Lee, this is to you. Is there any footage of you and your band that you can A, either upload to your channel or B, is already on YouTube?
Is there any footage of it? No. Of course there ain't. 1985.
No, of your band, you singing.
Oh.
No, you singing in your band. Is there any old...
I probably could get hold of some, yeah. I could definitely get hold of some from somewhere. Yeah, I reckon. Yeah.
I want to see that. Last one. Last question to you, Mark, very quickly. Tommy Taylor, yes or no?
No.
Okay.
I'll just leave it at that.
That's easy.
I'll tell you what I was amazed at. The amount of bands I realised I've seen once I was listening to you two speaking. The amount of, obviously these are the ones I thought of first, but the amount of bands when I could hear you guys talking about who you've seen that I thought, oh yeah, I've seen. I mean, it's just amazing when you actually realise how many you have seen. But no. Yeah. Brilliant, guys. Listen, I've loved this, and we're going to get together very soon for something else, I'm sure. But this has been really good fun. Really good fun. I've loved it. And they really was there, by the way, Darren. Maiden were there. All right?
Okay, I believe it.
All right. Cheers, guys. And I'll see you next time.